Hello together, my name is Tanja, welcome to my channel. Today I'm presenting you my June makes. This month was quite a productive month for me, so I had to show you 5 things. So without further ado, let's begin with the first one, which is this blouse. It's another Burda blouse with ruffles, so you have ruffles here and they end on the back. It was in their magazine issue from February. Maybe you remember I made another one back in February out of a white crepe with blue butterflies on it. And I still loved that blouse so much that I just had to make another one, so here it is. I love this blouse just as much as the other one. It's probably a little bit louder because it has these red and black dots on it and the print is quite busy. So last time I made this blouse out of a crepe, which was already hard to sew, and this time I used the cotton lawn expecting that it would be a little bit easier. However, this fabric was crazy to sew. It is one of these fabrics which, when you try to cut a straight line, always lay distorted so that you end up with a complete wonky line, and it was really hard to get it even at the bottom and at the end of those sleeves and to make everything look symmetrical. I think it's still a little bit asymmetrical, but I don't care. I'm glad I finished it. I would have never thought that working with a fabric like this could be so hard. I mean, I worked with chiffon before, I have worked with silk recently and a lot of other slippery fabrics, and none of them was nearly as hard as this one to handle, so yeah. So the first time I sewed up this pattern, it took me more than 2 weeks to finish that blouse, and that's the reason why I waited this long to make another one. But happily this time it just took me about 4 days, and I could have finished it sooner if I've had more time to sew. I think that's due to some changes I made to the pattern, but also to the fact that I already know what to do in which order and don't have to stare at the Burda instructions for hours. So the biggest change I made, despite correcting some fitting issues, was taking out the seam at the back and therefore not having to attach a closure at the back. Because this opening here is so big, I can get my head through it even with my hair up, and yeah, I don't need a button to close anything there or an opening. All in all, I can just recommend this pattern, even if it's from Burda and their instructions are usually a bit shorter than you'd like them to be. But this pattern has step-by-step instructions, and if you just stare at it long enough, you can figure out how to attach these ruffles here. Alright, on to make number 2, which was a make for my boyfriend. I made him a shirt with a contrasting yoke and sleeves and button tabs, and yeah. It is the Gosling pattern from SewSewDef Magazine. This magazine is quite new to the market, if you don't know it yet. They brought out 3 issues by now, and I got the 2nd issue because I wanted to test the patterns and yeah, the magazine in general. And my boyfriend said he liked this pattern and could imagine to wear a shirt like this, so I made him one. So I'm quite happy with it, and I think my boyfriend likes it as well. Okay, about the magazine and the pattern in general, I can say that the instructions were quite good. Every step is illustrated and explained, and yeah, the instructions are really good. And the only thing weird about this pattern was the sizing and the fit, because my boyfriend usually wears a size L, although he would fit into M as well, but he prefers L. So I measured him, and in the pattern he was also a size L, just not around the waist area. There he fitted more into the category 2XL, which was quite weird for me, because he usually even prefers to buy his shirts with a slim cut. I cut a size L, hoping that the boxy fit of this shirt would compensate a little bit for that and that it wouldn't be too tight, and he tried it on and it was way too loose at the waist and the hips. So I made it slimmer there, and so yeah, this part of the sizing was a little bit weird, but in the end it was easy to fit the pattern to him, and now it fits perfectly, and yeah. So overall, a big thumbs up for this pattern. The other pattern that came with this issue of SewSewDef Magazine was the Katie shirt dress, which is quite a basic shirt dress, but it flares out really wide at the bottom, and I'm hoping to make that probably next summer, because for this summer it's already too late. Okay, so that about the patterns. My opinion of the rest of the magazine, meaning the actual magazine, is a bit mixed, because I really would have thought that there would be more useful content in it, because they have 100 pages and lots of articles from a lot of people, but in the end it is just like a selection of blog-like articles in a magazine format with lots of pictures, and I really liked that they had articles about really different topics and about lots of things going on in the sewing and fashion community these days. But what I had really hoped for was that especially the more instructional, sewing related, technical articles went more in depth. All of these articles seem quite superficial to me. They're usually 1 or 2 pages long. For example, there was an article with a title something like "All You Need to Know About Ease", just explaining what ease is and that there are different kinds of like negative ease on stretchy garments and stuff like that. Things you can easily Google if you read them somewhere, and basically things that most of us know anyway. So for a beginner this might have been a good article and they might know a lot more now, but for people who are more advanced, the tips in this magazine are quite basic. Really, the patterns are great and the articles are nice, but it's the same kind of entertainment and information you can get for free if you read blogs on the internet. Okay, enough about that magazine. Onto my next set of makes, which is a set of lingerie. In my Make 9 project for this year, I had written that I wanted to make some lingerie, and now I finally got around to do it, and I think it's now one of my favorite things to make, because it's so fast and you end up with a complete kind of outfit, if you don't wear anything else, within, don't know, 2 or 3 hours. So I think now that I started, I'll make many more pieces. I made a matching set, so these are the panties. They're self-drafted because this make was quite spontaneous. It was on a Saturday evening when I decided that I wanted to make some lingerie, and I don't have a working printer at home, so I couldn't buy a PDF pattern and print out, so I took some underwear I had at home and made a pattern from that. There's the back for you to see, and it worked out really fine, and I had a little fitting to do, but overall I really love how it looks and fits. And if you want to make something like this but don't want to self-draft it, go to the store of Evie Lalouf, the Esme panties, I think. So it has this stretch lace at the back, ending here, and then it's finished with a set of jersey strips, because as I said, it was spontaneous and I didn't have any elastic at home, and I experimented with some stretchy jersey instead, and it worked out very well. I even added some ties here to either tie a bow or to tie it around your body at the waist level if you like that style. So that's the first piece. And then I made a matching bralette, which is this one. So yeah, the cups are just made out of the same stretch lace, which is a little bit sheer, and then it has the same jersey straps all around, and the back is a crisscross back, so it should look like this on the back. I didn't have any bra closures either, so I figured out this tying system here, and it also has some strings here, like on the bottom, to either tie a bow or to tie it around your under bust. This bralette is also self-drafted. I took a bra that fitted and just took the shape from it and then figured out the rest with the jersey strings. So, as I said, this was the first time for me to sew lingerie, and I know that I didn't do it properly with bra closures and elastic and anything. I just did it as I hoped it would work, and yeah, it worked. And I found that it was really easy, and since the pieces are quite tiny, it doesn't take very long, and yeah, using stretch lace is a really great method to make such a simple make more interesting. And yeah, I can only recommend you to sew lingerie, and it's a lot easier than you think and looks a lot better than you might think now, even if you do it for the first time. Last but not least, make number 4 and 5. They kind of go together because they were made for the same event. So last month I had been invited to a Harry Potter party. So we were asked to come in black cloaks, so I made myself one. And also I was asked to sew a sorting hat for the party. So yeah, the hat is probably the more stunning piece. Here it is. This hat is made out of an old fake leather jacket that I still had at home, and I painted it to look a little darker. So what I basically did was sewing an oversized hat, especially this part here was way longer in the pattern than it now is, to create all these creases here. And then I added lots of pieces of wire going from the base of the head until its top, so that I could then shape it. And then I had to add even more wire because turned out it wasn't enough. With a few stitches I fixed the structures like the nose and the eyes, and yeah, you can still see some of the stitches, but I think overall it looks really good. And then I even painted the openings to look a little bit darker. Then I stuffed out the top and give you a look from the inside, and added another few strands of wire to fix everything and not make it collapse. And yeah, a lot on this head is hand sewn and hand stitched, and yeah, it took me ages to finish this project because I had to do so much by hand and had to paint over it, I think 4 times. I wish I had made photos along the way and filmed it for you. This is a make I'm quite proud of because, as I said, I didn't really have a pattern or good instructions on how to make such a hat, but I just figured it out along the way, and I think it turned out quite good. So I'm happy that I could figure out how to make such an authentic looking hat just by myself. I love working freestyle, so without patterns, because sometimes you can make the best things without a pattern just by following your imagination and creating things how you think they could work. So this project goes along with the name of my channel very well. Don't dream it, sew it. So these kind of pieces are the reason why I started sewing and why I still love sewing the most, and that I actually want to do more of. So these were my 5 makes for the month. I hope you liked them and you found the video entertaining. If you did so, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you aren't subscribed yet. You do me a great favor by subscribing. Thank you so much for sticking till the end, and I hope I'll see you soon with my next makes video or a tutorial. So till then, stay well and and goodbye.